Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss total paper 2 of 10th class mathematics. From the total 7 chapters of paper 2, from every chapter we are going to discuss important questions. So if you listen to this video perfectly and practice those questions, I'll give guarantee that you will get more than 30 marks. Okay, so without any late, let's move to the questions. So first, let us discuss some important questions from the similar triangles chapter. So this type of questions, that is a square similar to a rectangle? Is equilateral triangle similar to isosceles triangle? Is rhombus similar to square? Is square similar to rhombus? Is rectangle similar to rhombus? These kind of questions. Now let us check the answer for this. Is a square similar to a rectangle? First of all, we need to have a complete idea about the word similar. Similar means in those two particular figures, the corresponding angles should be same and corresponding sides ratio should be same. Now let us draw these two figures. One is square and one is rectangle. Now for the easy purpose of calculation, I am taking some measurements also. Square side is 2 units and rectangle length is 3 units and breadth 2 units. So this will be 3, this will be 2. Now first let us check the corresponding angles. In square, all the angles are right angles. In rectangle also, all the angles are 90 degrees. So corresponding angles are equal. Corresponding angles are equal to each other. Next, corresponding sides ratio we need to check. Left side divided by left side 2 by 2. Right side divided by right side 2 by 2. Upper side divided by upper side 2 by 3. Lower side divided by lower side 2 by 3. 2 by 2 is equals to 2 by 2. But this 2 by 2 is not equals to 2 by 3. This 2 by 3 is equals to 2 by 3. So it means the corresponding sides ratio is not equal. Corresponding sides ratio is not same. So according to the definition of similar, two figures should have angles equal as well as corresponding sides ratio should be same. But in this case, corresponding sides ratio is not same. So we cannot say that square is similar to rectangle. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, the next type of question is, we will be having triangles and in that one line will be given. So he will miss some values. That missing values we need to find out. So in this total 3 types of questions will be there. So let us solve all those 3 type of questions. In the first one, ABC is a triangle. DE is parallel to BC. So DE is parallel to BC. This arrow indicates those two sides are parallel to each other. And next, AD is given as 3 units, DB is given as 5 units, AE is given as 2.1 and EC value he is asking. So according to the BPD, if a line is drawn parallel to one of the sides, it divides the remaining 2 sides in the same ratio. So in our words, if we say clearly, upper 1 by lower 1 is equals to upper 1 by lower 1. That is 3 by 5 is equals to 2.1 by, here lower one is not given, so I am taking some constant x. Let us cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, 3 into x is equals to 5 into 2.1. We want x value, so take 3 that side. 5 into 2.1 divided by 3. 3 ones are 3, 0.7s are. So x is equals to 5 into 0.7, 3.5. That is nothing but value of E. See here, the missing value is 3.5 units. Next, ABC triangle is given and DE is parallel to BC. AD is given as 3 units and BD is given as 5 units. And this side, total side AC is given as 5.6. Total side is given as 5.6 and AE is missing. That AE we need to find out. So the only difference between this first question and this second question is, here upper 1 by lower 1, upper 1 by lower 1 is clearly there. But in this case, upper 1 by lower 1, upper 1 by total is given. So small change we need to do, that is, instead of taking upper 1 by lower 1, let us take upper 1 by total, because right side we have total value, so left side also let us take the total only. Now upper 1 is 3 divided by total 3 plus 5, 8. That is equals to upper 1 some missing value, so that is x divided by total 5.6. Here total is 8. Let us cross multiply. 5.6 into 3 is equals to 8 into x. Now we want x value, so bring 8 this side. 5.6 into 3 divided by 8 is equals to x. 8 ones are 8, 0.7s are. So x is equals to 0.7 into 3.1, that is 2.1. Here that is AE, or the missing value is 2.1. Now these two questions where numbers are given. Now let us come to the third question where only constants will be given. Anyway, the same logic. Upper 1 by lower 1 is equals to upper 1 by lower 1. Upper 1 8x plus 9 divided by lower 1 x plus 3 is equals to upper 1 3x plus 4 divided by lower 1 x. Cross multiply. 8x plus 9 into x. 8x plus 9 into x is equals to x plus 3 into 3x plus 4. 8x into x, 8x square, plus 9 into x, 9x is equals to first one into first one into second one, x into 3x, 3x square, plus x into 4, 4x, plus second one into first one into second one, 3 into 3x, 9x, plus 3 into 4, 12. Here left side 9x, right side 9x, both will get cancelled. Now I am taking remaining everything to one side. 8x square plus 3x square will become minus 3x square, plus 4x will become minus 4x, plus 12 will become minus 12, which is equals to 0. So 8x square minus 3x square, 5x square minus 4x as it is, minus 12 is equals to 0. Now we need to go with the splitting the middle term into two terms. Constant is minus 12 and x square coefficient is 5. So minus 12 into 5, minus 60. So now this minus 4 we need to divide into two numbers. So it's not possible. So that's why what I am doing, I am going with the formula. So the formula is minus b plus or minus under root b square minus 4ac whole divided by 2a. In this the given equation, what is the b value? Minus 4. Already minus is there, so we will get minus of minus 4 plus or minus under root b square. B value is minus 4, so minus 4 square minus 4 into a value x square coefficient 5 into c value constant minus 12 whole divided by 2 into a value, that is x square coefficient 5. So minus of minus 4 plus or minus under root minus 4 whole square 16 minus into minus plus 4 5s are 20 into 12 240 whole divided by 10. So if we solve this now, 4 plus or minus 16 plus 240 under root 256 divided by 10, which is equals to 4 plus or minus under root 256 16 whole divided by 10. So now if we solve that, we will get 4 plus 16 by 10 or 4 minus 16 by 10. So now 4 plus 16 is nothing but 20 by 10 or 4 minus 16 minus 12 by 10. Here 0 0 cancel, so we remains with 2 or 2 5s are 2 6 are minus 6 by 5. So x value is 2 or minus 6 by 5. Okay, let us move to the next question. Okay, these kind of figures, the main reason why most of the students will fear about these similar triangles is these kind of figures only. No need to worry about any figure in the total similar triangles chapter, because in the total similar triangle chapter we have two kinds of figures. One figure is related to BPT and the second type of figure is related to Pythagoras theorem. That's it. Only these two types of figures are there. So only two types of figures, so no need of any fear. Now let's have a look at this diagram now. Here LM BC both are indicated with one arrow, so it means this LM is parallel to BC. Next here LN and CD both are represented by two arrows, so it means LN is parallel to CD. That total he gave in the question itself, so no problem at all. Then we have up one triangle, low one triangle, that is ABC upper triangle, ADC lower triangle. Then he is asking to prove AM by AB is equals to AN by AD. So to make the calculation very easy, I will divide these figures. One is total upper part and one is total lower part. So first I am drawing the upper part completely. Here we have some B point, here C point, and here middle one more line, that is L and M, and we have one point here A. So he clearly mentioned that LM is parallel to BC. Now if we observe this clearly, easily we will rewind PPT. Upper one by lower one is equals to upper one by lower one. Otherwise lower one by upper one is equals to lower by upper one. Otherwise upper one by total is equals to upper one by total. Otherwise lower one by total is equals to lower one by total. So any one logic we need to apply based on what exactly he is asking. So let us check what he is asking then. Required to prove AM by AB. AM means upper one by AB. AB means total. So in this case he is asking upper one by total. Now for this triangle I will apply the BPT, that is upper one by total, AM by AM divided by total AB, that is equals to same downside also, upper upper one by total, that is AL by AC. AL by AC. This is one equation I got. Next, now here I took the upper triangle, now I will take the lower triangle. Here we have DC, here A, and in the middle one line, that is LN. So these two lines are parallel to each other here. Now here also same, for this triangle I'll applied upper one by total. So in this case also I need to do the same, that is upper one by total only. So now this is upper one and this is total. AL by AC. AL by AC is equals to AN by AD. Here upper one total AN by AD. Now this is the equation 2. Now if we observe the equation 1 and equation 2 clearly, here we have AL by AC, here also we have AL by AC. So it means these two are equal to each other. That is AM by AB is equals to AN by AD, which is exactly we need to prove. Hence proved. Okay, then let's move to the question. Next question. We have one big triangle ABC. In that he made some lines and he is saying that these two arrows DF is parallel to AE and this single arrow DE is parallel to AC, and he is asking to prove BF by FE is equals to BE by EC. If we observe this BF by FE, this is BF, this is FE, so BF by FE. So what I will do now, I will take this half triangle. So I will take that half triangle BFE. I am drawing that separate again. This is B and this is E. We have one line in the middle somewhere, that is F. Now according to the BPT, we want parallel lines only, that's why I am not taking this line. So he clearly mentioned that this DF is parallel to AE. This DF and AE, which are parallel lines, that parallel lines only I am considering. Now we want BF by FE, right? It means this BF, this is FE, upper one by lower one. Now for this total figure I will apply upper one by lower one. Upper one by lower one, that is BF by FE is equals to, here also same, upper one by lower one, that is BD by DA. This is the equation 1. Now next what we want, BE by EC. BE and EC. BE to EC. It means total triangle. Now total triangle I am considering, that is ABC. Only we want parallel sides. So this AC is parallel to DE. So only that DE I am joining. So now BE by EC, it means this is BE and this is EC. So upper one by lower one I will apply again, because in the first figure also I applied upper one by lower one only. So compulsory I need to apply here also upper one by lower one only. So that is BE by EC, upper one by lower one is equals to, here also upper one by lower one, that is BD by DA. This is equation 2. Now if we observe these two equations clearly, BD by DA, BD by DA, so it means these two are equal to each other. That is BF by FE is equals to BE by EC. Hence proved. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, the next type of questions they will ask is person shadow, otherwise pole shadow, temple shadow, one object and one shadow related questions. Okay, let's have a look at the question. A person 1.65 tall meters casts a shadow of 1.8 meters. We have one person whose height is 1.65 meters and his shadow is 1.8 meters. Always the shadow will be on the ground only. So this shadow length is 1.8 meters. At the same instance, a lamp post casts a shadow of 5.4 meters. So somewhere we have one more lamp post. That lamp post is also creating shadow. That shadow is given as 5.4 meters. This shadow measurement is given as 5.4 meters. Then he is asking to find the height of the lamp post. This lamp post height we need to find out. So I am joining these two edges. Here also I am joining these two. So now we got two right angle triangles. So how we need to say then these two are similar? Yes, that is compulsory. Whenever we have triangles in the similar triangles chapter means compulsory we need to prove that two triangles are similar to each other. Then only we need to solve the problems. So here this is a man who is standing exactly perpendicular to the ground. This is one lamp post which is exactly perpendicular to the ground. Next, both are creating the shadows. It means both having the sun is there compulsory. So the sun will create some angle with that person as well as lamp post. So it means these two angles are equal to each other. If two angles are equal to each other, obviously the third angle is also equal. So in any two figures, I mean two triangles, if three angles are equal to each other, those two triangles are said to be similar to each other. Now those two triangles are similar to each other. So let us apply the similarity now. That is corresponding sides ratio. Left side by left side, 1.65 by x is equals to base by base 1.8 by 5.4. Here hypotenuse by hypotenuse also you can write, but here we don't have any use with that hypotenuse, so that's why I am not touching that hypotenuse part. Now if we do cross multiplication, we will get 1.65 into 5.4 is equals to 1.8 into x. We want x value, so take 1.8 that side. 1.65 into 5.4 divided by 1.8 is equals to x. 1.8 ones are 1.8 threes are. So x value is 1.65 into 3. 3 5s are 15. 3 6 are 18, 19, 9 1, 3 1 are 3 4. So 4.95 meters. Here x is nothing but height. So height of the lamp post is 4.95 meters. Okay, let us check one more question as the same concept. A flagpole 4 meter tall casts a shadow. At the same time, a nearby building casts a shadow of 24 meters. Then how tall is the building? Flagpole 4 meters tall. 4 meters tall flagpole creating a 6 meters shadow. I am joining these two. At the same time, a nearby building casts a shadow of 24 meters. Again, one building is there. This building shadow is 24 meters. Then, how tall is the building? This building height he is asking. Already like the previous problem only, first we need to find or we need to show that those two triangles are similar to each other. Flagpole perpendicular to ground, building perpendicular to ground. Next, sun rays are forming on both. Sun rays are forming on both with the same angle. So this angle is equal to this angle is equal to this angle. So all the three angles are equal to each other. So it means these two triangles are similar to each other. If two triangles are similar to each other, we can apply the BPT again, that is corresponding sides ratio. Left side by left side, that is 4 by, here left side is not there, so x is equals to base by base, that is 6 by 24. If you do cross multiply, x into 6 is equals to 4 into 24. Now we want x value, so take 6 this side. x is equals to 4 into 24 divided by 6. 6 ones are 6 fours are, so x is equals to 4 into 4 16. All the measurements are in meters, so this is also meter. So height of the building is 16 meters. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Okay, the next type of question is a relation between areas and sides, or else areas and altitude, or else areas and median, or else areas and angular bisectors, or else perimeter and side. So now let's have a look at this. Triangle ABC is similar to DEF. Both the triangles are similar. BC is equals to 3 centimeter and EF is equals to 4 centimeter. And area of ABC triangle is 54 centimeter square. Then find the area of triangle DEF. So let us check it out now. Area of triangle ABC divided by area of triangle DEF is equals to area of first triangle divided by area of second triangle is equals to, from the first triangle any side AB if I am taking, from this also you need to take first two alphabets only, that is DE. From the first triangle if I am taking second and third alphabet, that is BC. From the denominator also you need to take that only EF. So that is BC by EF, which is equals to, if I am taking the first and third, here also I need to take first and third only, that is AC by DF. We are going with the areas, so apply squares for everything. It means area of the first triangle divided by area of the second triangle is equals to ratio of the squares of the corresponding sides. So area of triangle ABC is given as 54 divided by area of triangle DF, we need to find out. So some constant x, it's equals to, here we have the values of BC and EF, so it means this BC and EF, that only I will take now. BC 3, so 3 square by EF 4 square. 54 by x is equals to 3 square, 9 by 4 square, 16. Let us do cross multiplication. So 54 into 16 is equals to 9 into x. We want x value, so bring the 9 this side. 54 into 16 divided by 9 is equals to x. 9 ones are 9 6 are. So x value is 6 into 16, 96. And here x is nothing but area of triangle DEF. All the measurements are in centimeters. So this will become centimeter square. If they give sides, otherwise altitude, otherwise median, otherwise angular bisector, the same process. Area of the first triangle divided by area of the second triangle is equals to square of the first side by square of the second side. Now this is for area. Now let us move to next question, which relates to perimeter. We have two similar triangles. BC, EF values are given, and perimeter of triangle ABC. So perimeter of first triangle, that is ABC, divided by perimeter of second triangle DEF is equals to normal sides, no square, nothing, sides corresponding sides ratio. So here AB divided by DE is equals to BC divided by EF, which is equals to AC divided by DF. Now perimeter of the triangle ABC is given as 24 divided by DEF, we don't know, so come constant x. Next, BC and EF was given. BC, EF, so I will take that only, that is 3 by 4. In the case of area, we need to do squaring for the sides. But if they ask about perimeter, we need not do squaring. Cross multiply, 24 into 4 is equals to 3 into x. We want x value, so take 3 to the left side. So we will get 24 into 4 divided by 3 is equals to x. 3 ones are 3 8s are. So x is equals to 8 into 4, 32. All the measurements are in centimeters and we are finding the perimeter, so it will be 32 centimeter. The only difference between these two you need to know is, here the question is related to area, so squaring of the sides. Here perimeter, so no need of squaring the sides. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, the next question is, two poles of heights 6 meters and 11 meters stand on a plain ground. We have one 6 meters pole as well as we have one 11 meters pole. These two are standing on the ground. Next, if the distance between the foot of the poles is 12 meters, these poles are separated by 12 meters. Then find the distance between their tops from one top to another top. He is asking how much distance is there. So what I will do, here 6 is there, from that exactly one horizontal line I will draw. Now from here to here, if it is 6 meters, means from here to here also it should be 6 meters only. So 6 meters. Next, he said that clearly this total length is 11 meters. So already 6 completed. So this remaining part should be 5. He gave clearly from here to here, that is the distance between poles is 12 meters. So I will write the same 12 here. Now if we observe this upper figure, we got a right angle triangle. Now I am going to draw that right angle triangle separately. I am writing the names also, A, B, C. Here 5 is there, here 12 is there. So now we need to find out the third side, that is AC. So if we find out that AC side, we will get the distance between these two tops. That AC, by using the Pythagoras theorem, we need to find out. So hypotenuse square, that is AC square, is equals to first side square AB square plus second side square BC square. AC value don't know, so as it is, AB is 5 square plus BC is 12, so 12 square. AC square is equals to 5 square, 25, 12 square, 144. So AC square is equals to 25 plus 144, 169. So AC is equals to 13, and all the measurements are in meters, so this is also meters. Okay, now let's move to the next question. So here we have one big right angle triangle. Next, from A, he drawn one line upon to BD and he named it as AC. And he clearly mentioned that this AC is perpendicular to BD. This AC line is perpendicular line. Then he is asking to prove AB square is equals to BC into BD. So as I discussed earlier, only two types of figures will be there in the total similar triangle chapter. One is based on PPT, which we solved already. Now this type of questions, that is based on the Pythagoras theorem. So first let us check what they are asking. AB square is equals to BC into BD. AB, this is base. BC, here small side. BD, here total side. So now if we observe that clearly, we can get to one conclusion, that is something is related in between the lower triangle and total triangle only. We don't have any work with upper triangle. So lower triangle and total triangle I will draw separately again. this is lower triangle, and this is total triangle. Now after drawing the figures separately, the first and foremost thing we need to do is representing the angles correctly. Now if we take the total triangle, 90 degrees is at point A, so here it will be 90 degrees and that is A. Next, in smaller triangle, this is 90 degrees. So if we observe the lower triangle only at the point C, 90 degrees is there, so this will become C. Next, for the lower triangle as well as for the total triangle, this angle B is common. So if I am taking this as angle B, so obviously this should be angle B because corresponding angles. So now here total triangle is ABD, right? So AB completed, now remaining is D. Next, small triangle BCA, BC completed, so remaining is A. So now BB, these two are same angles. It means this angle B is common for the lower triangle as well as for the total triangle. So B is equal to B, and A and C both are right angles, so A and C both are equal. If two angles are equal to each other, obviously the third angle is also equal. So now if three angles are equal to each other, then those two triangles are said to be similar to each other. Now if those two triangles are similar to each other, so we can apply the corresponding sides ratio now. So let us apply that corresponding sides ratio. That is left side by left side, AC by AD. Here left side of the triangle by left side of the triangle is equals to base by base, base BC by base AB, which is equals to hypotenuse by hypotenuse AB by DB. We got clearly that two triangles are similar to each other. So if two triangles are similar to each other, then the corresponding sides will be in the same ratio. So I am writing that now. Left one by left one is equals to base one, base equals to hypotenuse by hypotenuse. Now from these three we need to select only two which are needed for us to prove the answer. That is AB, BC, BD. AB, BC and BD. So these two are enough for us because we don't want any AD term only. So that's why I am completely removing this. So now if we take these two, that is BC by AB is equals to AB by DB. If I cross multiply that, BC into DB, BC into DB is equals to AB into AB. AB into AB, AB square, which is equals to BC into DB, BC into DB. So AB square is equals to BC into DB, hence proved. Okay, so by this problem we completed the important questions from similar triangles chapter. Now let us move to the next chapter, that is tangents and secants. Okay, now let us discuss some important problems from the tangents and secants. So the first type of question is, find the length of the tangent to a circle with center O and radius 6 centimeters. We have one circle with center O and radius 6 centimeter. I am drawing the radius which is 6 centimeters. Then from a point P such that OP is equals to 10 centimeter. Here somewhere outside of the circle we have one point P. This OP is given as 10 centimeters. Then he is asking to find the length of the tangent. This one he is asking. So this kind of question is compulsory question in the exam. Sometimes they will give the tangent and this point measurements, and they will ask the radius. Sometimes they will give these two and they will ask the length of the tangent. Sometimes they will give radius and length of the tangent and they will ask this measurement. So anyway, the process is same. Now the first logic we need to remember here is where the radius is touching the tangent. This is the radius and this is the tangent, so these two are touching here. Where the radius is touching the tangent, it forms 90 degrees here. So if it is 90 degrees means this figure, so I am writing some name here, OPQ I am writing here. Now this OPQ triangle is nothing but right angle triangle. So let us apply the Pythagoras theorem then. This is right angle, so opposite to the right angle it will be always hypotenuse, so this will become hypotenuse now. So hypotenuse square, that is 10 square, is equals to first side square 6 square plus second side square, but PQ is not given, so I am taking some constant x, so x square. Hypotenuse square is equals to first square plus second square. 10 square 100, which is equals to 6 square 36 plus x square. So take 36 this side, we will get x square is equals to 100 minus 36. X square is equals to 100 minus 36, 64. X square is 64, then x value plus or minus 8. It means plus 8 or minus 8. But in this question we are discussing about the measurement of a tangent, so measurement or length or distance won't be in the negative terms ever. So the tangent length is 8 centimeters. Okay, let's move to the next question. Two concentric circles. Concentric or concentric circle is nothing but two circles with the same center. Based on one center, we need to draw the two circles. One circle inside another circle. Finish. Concentric circle means one circle inside the other. Otherwise, two circles with the same center. So, two concentric circles of radii 5 cm and 3 cm. Radius 5, radius 3. Bigger radius means bigger circle, smaller radius means smaller circle. So, from here to here, this is the bigger circle radius, that is 5. From here to here, smaller circle radius, that will be 3. Now what I will do, I will join this completely from here to here total. Now if we observe this part, we got one side, second side and third side right angle triangle, because already we know now this line will become the tangent to this circle, and this 3 is nothing but the radius. So where the radius is touching the tangent, it will form 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees means opposite, this will become hypotenuse. So hypotenuse square is equals to first side square plus second side, that is nothing but from here to here we don't know, so some constant x square. 5 square 25 is equals to 3 square 9 plus x square. So x square is equals to 25 minus 9 16. So x is equals to plus or minus 4. Again here also same, we are finding the distance, so it won't be negative, so completely x value is 4 centimeters. Next, what he is asking then? Find the length of the chord of the larger circle. Now this for larger circle, this total line will become the chord. It means if this where exactly this radius is touching the tangent, it is making the total line into two equal parts. So if this is x means this half also x only. So this x value we got as 4. So then this x value also 4 only. So it means 4 plus 4 is equals to 8 centimeters. The length of the chord of the larger circle which touches the smaller circle is 8 centimeters. let's move to the next question. Okay, the next important question is a quadrilateral ABCD is drawn to circumscribe a circle. It means one circle is there. Outside of this circle, which exactly touching the circle, we have one quadrilateral also. A quadrilateral ABCD. So this name also given ABCD. Quadrilateral ABCD is drawn to circumscribe a circle. Then prove that AB plus CD, ABCD is equals to AD plus BC, AD plus BC. It means sum of the opposite sides is equals to sum of these two opposite sides. So now the only one logic we need to use, or we are going to use here, is that is tangent. Just previous two problems we discussed that only. For any circle, if two tangents are joined, these two tangents measurements will be always equal. For example, if I am taking this point P, A, B. So this tangent length, that is AP, is exactly equals to this second tangent length, that is BP. So it means, for example, I have one circle outside somewhere from one point. I am drawing one tangent which touches this circle, and one more tangent towards this side which touches the circle. So it means from outside of that point till where it is touching, these two measurements will be always equal to each other. Now we are going to use the same logic here also. Check it once now. Here B is there, which is a point outside of the circle. C is a point which is outside of the circle. A is a point which is outside of the circle. D is a point which is outside of the circle. Now from B, two tangents we are drawing. One is going upward, one is going left side. From A also one is going right side, one is going upside. From C also one is coming bottom, one is going left. From D also one is going right, one is coming towards down. So now where those circle and quadrilateral are touching with each other, I will name some that also, that is M, N, O, P. Now we need to prove this AB plus CD is equals to AD plus BC. Now let us check clearly. Here AB, check the AB in the figure, that is AB. Now this total side AB is nothing but this part plus this part, that is AO plus OB. It means you write AO, just below that only you write OB also, AO, OB. Next, check the second term CD. Now this is total CD. So this total CD is nothing but this half part plus this half part, that is CM plus MD. So write those two also, CM and MD. Now equate all to here. This is point A. Already we know this AO is one tangent and AP is one tangent. So already we know both the tangents from an external point of a circle are equal to each other. So it means AO is exactly equal to AP. So AO is equals to AP. Next OB. OB is equals to BN. Next CM. CM is equals to CN. Next MD is equals to DB. Now we got 4 equations. Let us add all these 4 equations. AO plus OB plus CM plus MD is equals to AP plus BN, AP plus BN plus CN plus DB. AO plus BO, AB plus CM plus MD, CM plus MD, CD is equals to AP plus DP. AP plus DP is nothing but total side AD plus BN plus CN. BN plus CN total side BC. Hence proved, completed. So the only thing you need to take care of is writing this. Check the LHS clearly. Is speaking about AB. So AB is nothing but AOOB. So write that too. Next CD. So CD is nothing but CMMD. So write that CMMD. Then go with the RHS by using the tangent concept. Okay, now let us move to the next question. Prove that parallelogram circumscribing a circle. So the only difference between this question and this question is, here he mentioned quadrilateral, but here he mentioned about parallelogram. So we have one parallelogram. Inside of this parallelogram, one circle is there. Same like the previous problem only I will solve now. I am writing that parallelogram name as ABCD, and where that touching with circle I am writing it as MNOP. So now same as it is, I am taking these two sides first. AB is nothing but AMMB, right? So AMMB. Here downside total CD is nothing but COOD. So COOD, which is equals. AM is nothing but AB. MB is nothing but BN. CO is nothing but CN. OD is nothing but PD. Again same, I will add all these AM plus MB plus CO plus OD is equals to AP plus BN plus CN plus PD. AM plus MB, AM plus MB, AB plus CO plus OD, CO plus OD, CD is equals to AP plus DP, AP plus DP, AD plus BN, CN, BN plus CN, BC. Next, now till here exactly what we solved in the previous question. Now from here onward just we need to extend it more. That is, in the previous question he discussed that it is a quadrilateral only, but here he mentioned that figure is parallelogram. So this ABCD is a parallelogram. So what is the property of a parallelogram? Opposite sides are equal to each other. So it means AB is exactly equals to CD. So AB, in the place of CD also I am writing AB only. AB is exactly equals to CD. Next, AD is equals to BC. So AD I am writing as it is. In the place of BC also I am writing AD. Why we are writing like this means, we know clearly that opposite sides are equal in a parallelogram. So AB is exactly equals to CD. AD is equals to BC. AB plus AB, 2AB. AD plus AD, 2AD. 2 cancel. So we remains with AB is equals to AD. But we know that AB is equals to CD because it is a parallelogram. AB is equals to CD. Now from these two we can say that AD is equals to CD. Next, AD is equals to BC because it is a parallelogram. So AD is equals to BC. Now from these two we can conclude CD is equals to BC. Now from all these we can conclude AB is equals to CD, CD is equals to BC, that is equals to AD. So AB is equals to BC is equals to CD is equals to AD. All the four sides are equal to each other. If all the four sides are equal to each other and that too it is a parallelogram, so then it will become a rhombus. All the four sides are equal in two figures. One is rhombus and one is square. But in this case, these angles are not 90 degrees because it is clearly mentioned that it is a parallelogram. So only one chance, that is rhombus. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, now the next question is finding the area of a sector. Finding the area of a sector. So what exactly sector means? In a circle, if we draw two radius anywhere, any two radius, now this total part is called as a sector. This sector area we need to find out. So let us check that once now. Sector area formula is theta by 360 into pi r square. Theta is 120 degrees, that is the angle, by 360 into pi value 22/7 into radius r is given as 21 into 21. 7 ones are 7 threes are 121s are 123s are. Here 3 cancel, so we remains with 22 into 21. 22 into 21 is nothing but 462, and we are finding the area and all the measurements are in centimeters, so the units will become centimeter square. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Here he is asking to find the area of the shaded part. This shaded part area we need to find out. Now how we will get that shaded part area? If we observe that figure clearly, that only inner figure I am drawing, we have one shape like this. Next, one line here. So now if we observe this figure clearly, this total figure is a sector and this upper figure is a triangle. So we need to find out the area of the shaded part. So sector area minus triangle area. So to get this area of the shaded part, we need to subtract the smaller part from the total part, that is sector area minus triangle area. So area of sector minus area of triangle. Now the same question we discussed in the previous one also. So already we know the area of sector, that is 462. So area of sector, that is 462, I am writing as it is, minus. Now we need to find the area of the triangle. So now area of the triangle formula is half into base into height. But for this triangle, base we don't know, height we don't know. So we need to find out the base as well as height of that triangle. So let us do that now. Now we have the triangle, right? That only triangular part I am drawing little bigger. Clearly he mentioned that this total angle is 120 degrees. So I am making it exactly half. So one side 60 degrees, one side 60 degrees. Now he mentioned this radius, nothing but this side. So this is 21, this is 21. Now out of these two triangles, take any one triangle. So I am taking the right side triangle. I am drawing it again clearly. So this is 60 degrees, this is 21. Now this is the total base of the triangle and this line is the height of the triangle. Now this line is exactly here, it is there. So that height we will find out from that. But from the total base I took half part only. So this will become half of the base. So after finding this half of the base, I will double it so that I will get the total base. Now let us find out the sides of this triangle. So we have one angle. This is opposite side and this is hypotenuse. Angle, opposite, hypotenuse. So which trigonometric ratio we need to take? Obviously sine. So that is sine 60 is equals to this opposite, I don't know, so I am taking some constant x. Opposite by hypotenuse. Sine 60 root 3 by 2 which is equals to x by 21. If I cross multiply we will get 21 root 3 is equals to x into 2. 2 also I will bring this side, so x is equals to 21 root 3 divided by 2. Now this is this part 21 root 3 by 2. It means exactly half of the base. So we want a total, so multiply by 2. 2 into 21 root 3 by 2. 2 cancel, so we remains with 21 times root 3. So the base of the triangle is 21 root 3. Next let us find out the height then. Here angle is there, this will become adjacent. Here hypotenuse is there. Angle, hypotenuse, adjacent, cos 60 is equals to adjacent h by hypotenuse 21. Cos 60 1 by 2 which is equals to h by 21. Cross multiply, 2 into h is equals to 21. So h is equals to 21 by 2. Now we got the base. I'll write it here, base, as well as height. Base we got, height we got. So now let us substitute in the area of triangle formula then. So area of the triangle is half into base 21 root 3 into height 21 by 2. So 462 minus, in the numerator 21 into 21, 441 into root 3 whole divided by, in the denominator 2 into 2, 4. Now if we multiply here, 4 into 462, 1848 minus 441 root 3 whole divided by 4, and we are finding the area and the remaining measurements are in centimeters, so this will come centimeter square. In case in the question if they give, use the root 3 value as 1.732, substitute that 1.732 in the place of this root 3 and do multiplication. That answer you subtract from 1848. That final answer you divide by 4. You will get the area of the shaded part. Okay, then let's move to the next question. Okay, the question is, some figure is given. In that again some figures are given. Then he is asking about this shaded part. So now if we observe the total figure clearly, how we will get that shaded part? Total figure minus these two figures. In the question anyway he will mention that outer figure is a square. In case if he didn't mention that outer figure or the bigger figure is a square, check how many measurements are given. Only one measurement is given, so compulsory that is a square only. So it means square area minus, what are these two figures? Obviously those are semicircles. So two semicircles, 2 into semicircle area pi r square by 2. So here 2 will get cancelled. Square area 4a square a square minus pi r square. A is given as 7 into 7 minus pi value 22 by 7 into, then what about the radius? For square every side is the same, so if here it is 7 means here also 7. Then now I am drawing this figure alone, semicircle. So this is the measurement, we have 7. Now this 7 is nothing but this diameter of the semicircle, so then radius will be half of the diameter, that is 7 by 2 into 7 by 2. Here 7 will get cancelled, 2 ones are 2 11s are, so we remains with 7 into 7 49 minus 11 into 7 divided by in the denominator 2. So 2 into 49 98 minus 11 into 7 77 divided by 2. 98 minus 77 21 by 2, and we are finding the area, every measurement is in centimeter, so this will become centimeter square. So the area of the shaded part is 21 centimeter squares. Let's move to next question. Here also same, he is asking the value or area of the shaded part. Now if we observe that clearly, that is a sector, not a triangle. So what he is doing, he is taking one total circle, center, drawing 2 radius. Now this part is there, sector, this is sector. Now this alone part he is drawing here, bigger one. So we have 2 sectors here, one is bigger sector and one is smaller circle. So bigger sector minus smaller sector will get the area of this shaded part. So bigger sector theta by 360 into pi r square, that is the area of the sector. This is bigger sector minus smaller sector theta by 360 into pi r square. For both the sectors angle is the same, so that's why I am keeping that as theta only. But for both the sectors radius is different, so one I am taking as r1 and one I am taking as r2, so that we don't have any confusion at all. Now theta value is 30 degrees by 360 into pi value 22 by 7 into radius of the bigger sector, that is 21 into 21 minus theta 30 by 360 into pi value 22 by 7 into r2 radius of the smaller sector 7, so 7 into 7. Now if we observe this total 2 terms clearly, 30 by 360 into 22 by 7, 30 by 360 into 22 by 7 is there. So I will take out that common, 30 by 360 into 22 by 7 common. So if this is completed, remains with 21 into 21 minus, if this is completed means remains with 7 into 7. Now if we check it outside, here 0 0 cancel, 3 1s are 3 12s are, 2 6s are 2 11s are. So outside we remains with in the numerator 11 by 6 into 7 42 times of, in the bracket 21 into 21 441 minus 7 into 7 49. So 11 by 42 into 441 minus 49 is nothing but 392. So here let us check 392 will come in 7 table or not. 7 5s are 35, 4 remains, okay, 7 table it will come. 7 6 are 42, 7 5s are 35, 4 remains, 7 6 are 42. Next, 2 3s are 6, 2 28s are 56. So we remains with 11 into 28 whole divided by 3. If you do multiplication of 11 and 28, 11 into 28 is nothing but 308 divided by 3. This is the area of the shaded part. All the measurements are in centimeters and we are finding the area. So this will become centimeter square. So by this problem we completed tangents and secants to the circle also. So next let us move to the chapter mensuration. Okay, let's move to the next question. In the mensuration, the first type of questions they will ask is, they will give the figure or else they will give the name of the figure and they will ask you to find the area, maybe curved surface area or total surface area. Next, they will give a figure or name of a figure and they will ask you to find the volume. So let us check those kind of questions first. He gave one cylindrical figure where the radius is 7 and height is 10. So he is asking to find out the curved surface area. So curved surface area of a cone is pi r l. Pi value we know 22 by 7 and radius is also given 7. But what about that L? L is nothing but slant height. This is the slant height of the cone. So that is L. What is the L value? We need to find out that. Now if we observe this clearly, here we get right angle triangle. So let us apply Pythagoras theorem. L square is equals to 10 square plus 7 square. L square is equals to 10 square 100 plus 7 square 49. L square is equals to 149. So L will become under root 149. Here 149 is not a perfect square, so that's why I am leaving it like that only. Still, if you want to write the decimals also, no problem, you can write 12.4 something it will come. If you do the long division of 149, so you will get some 12 point something. You can write this value also, but anyway I am writing directly root 149 only. So here pi value 22 by 7 into radius is 7 into slant height is under root 149. So here 7 will get cancelled. So we remains with 22 into 149. If all the measurements are in centimeters, this will become centimeter square. If they didn't mention anything about the units, you write it as units square or square units. Next, if they mention the figure clearly, no problem at all. But in case if they won't mention the figure or if they didn't given the figure, then what? Tent, cone, hat, joker cap, birthday cap, heap of rice. These all figures are considered as conical shapes only. Tent, cone, hat, tent, cone, hat, joker cap, birthday cap, heap. These all figures will be in the shape of a cone only. So always we need to go with the cone only, and that too curved surface area only, because for a tent bottom will be opened, for cone this bottom will be opened, for hat bottom will be opened, for joker cap bottom will be opened, for birthday cap bottom will be opened, for heap also bottom will be opened. So one of the bottom will be opened, so we need to go with the curved surface areas. Okay, let's move to the next question then. Find the volume of sphere. So volume of a sphere formula 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4 by 3 as it is pi value 22 by 7. In some questions they will give take the pi value as 3.14. So in the question if they didn't mention anything about the pi value, always we need to take 22 by 7 only. If they mention any other value for pi, so you need to take that only. For example, 3.14. Now radius cube, radius is given as 2.1, so 2.1 into 2.1 into 2.1. Now always the multiplication of decimals is little difficult, so let us change this decimal to fraction. 4 by 3 into 22 by 7 into 2.1 will become 21 by 10, 2.1 will become 21 by 10, 2.1 will become 21 by 10. Now let us do the cancellations. 7 ones are 7 threes are. Here 3 will get cancelled. 2 fives are 2 11s are. 2 twos are 2 fives are. 2 ones are 2 fives are. So we remains with in the numerator 11 into 21 into 21, 11 into 21 into 21 whole divided by 5 into 5 into 5. 5 into 5 into 5, which is equals to 11 into 21 into 21, 441 divided by 5 into 5 into 5, 125, which is equals to, so we will get 4851 divided by 125 as it is. We are finding the volume and the measurement is in centimeters, so this will become centimeter cube. If you want answer in the decimal point, do the division, you will get the final answer in decimals. Okay, let's move to the next. This is one more type of question, which is one of the very important questions. That is, they will give 2 figures or 3 figures and they will ask you to compare their curved surface areas or else volumes. So let us check now. Sphere, cylinder and cone, 3 figures are given. One is sphere and one is cylinder and one is cone. So 3 figures I drawn. Next, are of the same radius and same height. So sphere radius, if I am taking r, then cylinder radius also r only, cone radius also r only, because he clearly mentioned that all are having the same radius. Next, all are having the same height. Now if you check the height of the sphere, this will become the height of the sphere, this part. This is the height of the sphere. That is nothing but one straight line which is exactly going from the center. That will become the height of the sphere. That is nothing but diameter. So height of the sphere is nothing but diameter of the sphere. So diameter is nothing but double the radius, that is 2r. So height of the sphere is 2r. Then if the sphere height is 2r, then cylinder height also 2r only, as well as conical shape height also 2r only, because he clearly mentioned that all the 3 figures are having same height as well as same radius, everything is same. Then he is asking to find the ratio of their curved surface areas. So curved surface area of a sphere 4 pi r square is to curved surface area of a cylinder 2 pi r h is to curved surface area of a cone pi r l. Pi we know, r radius of the sphere we know, radius of the cylinder we know, height of the cylinder we know, radius of the cone we know, but what about the slant height of the cone? So our first duty is finding the slant height of the cone. So first let us find out the slant height of cone. We have a cone in which height is 2r and the radius is r. So I am joining these two. This will be the slant height of the cone right now. So this L we need to find out. Same, apply Pythagoras theorem first. L square is equals to 2r whole square plus r square. 2r whole square 4r square plus r square. L square is equals to 4r square plus r square 5r square. So L square is equals to 5r square. Then L is equals to under root 5r square. Now I will separate this root 5 into root r square. Square root and square cancel, so we remains with root 5 into r. So the slant height of the cone is root 5 into r. So now let us substitute. 4 into pi into r square, I am writing it as r into r, is to 2 into pi into radius r as it is. Height of the cylinder is 2r. This 2r I am writing it as 2 into r is to pi value as it is into radius r as it is into slant height root 5 into r. Now if we compare these three ratios, here pi will get cancel, here r will get cancel, here r will get cancel. Still check, anything is common in all the three terms? No, nothing is common, so write the remaining. Then here 4 is to, here 4 is to, here root 5. So the ratio of these sphere, cylinder and cone curved surface areas is 4 is to root 5. Next, then find the ratio of their volumes. So first, sphere volume 4 by 3 pi r cube is to cylinder volume pi r square h is to cone volume 1 by 3 pi r square h. Here pi will get cancelled, so we remains with 4 by 3 r cube is to r square into h. Height of the cylinder 2r is to 1 by 3 into r square into height of the cone 2r. Here r cube, r square into r cube, r square into r cube. So we remains with 4 by, here 4 into 2 is there, so 8 by 3 is to, this is second term, right? Okay, this is 4 by 3 is to, this is 2 is to, this is 2 by 3. Now I don't want any denominator, so what I will do, I will multiply every term by 3 again. So that will become 4 by 3 into 3 is to 2 into 3 is to 2 by 3 into 3. So here 3 cancel, here 3 cancel, so we remains with 4 is to 2 into 3 6 is to 2. Next, if any simplification is possible, that simplification also we need to do, that is 2 2s are 2 3s are 2 1s are. So we will get 2 is to 3 is to 1. 2 is to 3 is to 1 is the ratio of these three figures volumes. Next, let us check one more question based on the same concept again. A cylinder and cone have bases, same bases and equal radii and equal heights. Cylinder and cone, cylinder and cone both are having the same radius. So if cylinder radius I am taking as r, means cone radius also r, and same height. If cylinder height is h, means the same height will be there for cone also, h. Then show that their volumes are in the ratio of 3:1. Again we need to find out the ratio of the volumes. So first, volume of a cylinder pi r square h is to volume of a cone 1 by 3 pi r square h. Here pi cancel, r square cancel, h cancel, so we remains with 1:1 by 3. Now both the sides I will multiply by 3. So 1 into 3 is to 1 by 3 into 3. 3 cancel, so we remains with 3:1, hence proved. Okay, then let's move to the next question. Okay, till now we completed some questions where only one figure is included, but from now onwards 3 figures will be joined with each other. So let us check that. A toy is in the form of a cone mounted on a hemisphere. We have one hemisphere. On this hemisphere one cone is there. So cone mounted on a hemisphere, and the diameter of the base and height of the cone are 6 and 4. So the diameter is the first word, first number will be for diameter. So diameter is 6 means radius will be 3, and height of the cone is 4. So cone height is also given as 4. Then he is asking to find the surface area of the toy. So always 2 or 3 or more than those figures are joined with each other. Always we need to find the curved surface area only, not total surface area, because these two figures are joined with each other. So this joining part we cannot able to see. So that's why only curved surface area only we need to find out. It means curved surface area of a cone plus curved surface area of hemisphere. Curved surface area of a cone pi r l. Curved surface area of hemisphere 2 pi r square. Pi value 22/7 into radius of the cone is given as 3 into. Then what about the slant height? Already we know the triplets. Here 4 is there, here 3 is there, so it will be 5 plus 2 into pi value 22/7 into radius. Radius of the cone is exactly equal to the radius of the hemisphere, so it is also 3. 3 into 3. In the first term as well as from the second term, 22/7 as well as 3 is common. So I am taking this 22/7 into 3 common. 22/7 into 3. Here 5 will remain, plus here 2 into 3 will remain. So 22/7 into 3 times 5 plus 2 3s are 6. 6 plus 5 11. If we do multiplication, 22 into 3 11s are 33 whole divided by 7. 22 into 33 is nothing but 726 divided by 7. We are finding the area and all the measurements are in centimeters. So this will become centimeter squares. Just remember that whenever two figures are joining, we need to find out the curved surface area only. Next, let's move to the next question. 2 cubes each of volume 64 centimeter cube. We have 2 cubes. He clearly mentioned each cube volume is 64 only. So this first cube volume is 64, second cube volume also 64. So what is the exact formula for volume of a cube? Volume of a cube is A cube. So this A cube is equals to 64. Then A value will be 4. A is nothing but side of the cube. So this side of the cube we got as 4 and side of the cube we got as 4. Then are joined end to end together. These two ends we are joining to each other. Here one cube, just beside that only one more cube we are joining. Now 2 cubes are joining side by side or end to end. Then that figure will be cuboid. So we know clearly the side of the cube is 4 and side of the second cube also 4. So then total side of the cuboid will become 8. Next, we are joining the cube just by side but not on the top but not on the back also. So it means breadth as well as height remains same. Now for this cuboid, front face is visible, back face is visible, left, right, top, bottom, all the 6 faces are visible. So we need to write the find the TSA. Total surface area of a cuboid is 2 into LB plus BH plus HL is equals to 2 into length of the cuboid 8 into breadth as it is 4 plus breadth as it is 4 height as it is 4 plus height 4 into length 8, which is equals to 2 into 8 4s are 32 plus 4 4s are 16 plus 4 8s are 32. 2 into 32 32 64 64 16 80. 2 into 180, sorry, 2 into 80 160. All the measurements are in centimeters, so this will become area we are finding, so centimeter square. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, the next question is find the volume of the largest right circular cone that can be cut out of a cube whose edge is 7 centimeters. We have one cube. From this cube he is cutting a cone. He clearly mentioned that is right circular cone, so compulsory this should be perpendicular only. Next, then what is the volume of this cone? So here this cone is occupying completely cube except some part. So if we find the height of this cone, that is exactly equal to the side of the cube. So height of the cone is equals to side of the cube. Side of the cube is given as 7. Next, this total cone diameter, if we observe this total cone diameter is exactly equal to the side of the cube. So diameter is again 7. If diameter is 7, then radius will be 7 by 2. Now we need to find out the volume of that cone. So volume of the cone is equals to 1 by 3 pi r square h. 1 by 3 into pi value 22 by 7 into radius 7 by 2 into 7 by 2 into height 7. Here 7 cancel, 2 ones are 2 11s are. So we remains with 11 into 7 into 7. 11 into 7 into 7 whole divided by 3 into 2. That is 11 into 7 7s are 49 divided by 3 2s are 6. 11 into 49 divided by 6. 11 into 49 is nothing but 539 divided by 6. So this is the volume of the largest cone which we can cut from the cube. All the measurements are in centimeters and we are finding the volume. So this will be centimeter cube. Okay, next type of question. Dropping some objects into water. Spherical marbles of diameter 1.4 centimeter. Spherical marbles are there. Each spherical marble diameter is 1.4. Then radius will be 1.4 by 2. Are dropped into a cylindrical beaker. We have one cylinder. They are dropping these spherical marbles into the container, cylindrical container of diameter 7. This cylinder diameter is given as 7, then radius will become 7 by 2, which contains some water. So in this some water is there already. Find the number of marbles that should be dropped. So how many spherical marbles we need to drop into this cylinder so that water level rises by 5.6 centimeters. We have one cylinder in which some water is there. Into that cylinder we are dropping some spherical marbles. So how many spherical marbles we need to drop so that the water level rises? Now the water is till here. It is raising by 5.6 centimeters. So it means some till here. This raised how much? 5.6 centimeters. Then we need to find out how many marbles we need to drop into that so that it will raise by 5.6 centimeters. That is very easy. Here 5.6 centimeter raised. This if we observe again, this is also cylindrical part only. So this cylindrical part volume is exactly equals to the volume of the spherical marbles. So volume of the cylinder pi r square h is equals to volume of the spherical marbles. So many spherical marbles we are dropping. So n into volume of each sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube. Here pi will get cancelled, so we remains with r square h is equals to n into 4 by 3 r cube. R square radius of the cylinder 7 by 2 into 7 by 2 into height of the cylinder, that is 5.6 raising, that only we need to take 5.6 nothing but 56 by 10, which is equals to n into 4 by 3 into r cube radius of the sphere, that is 1.4 by 2. 1.4 by 2 can be written as 14 by 20. So 2 sevens are 2 tens are, so 7 by 10 into 7 by 10 into 7 by 10 into 7 by 10. We want n value, so remaining everything I am taking one side. 7 by 2 as it is, 7 by 2 as it is, 56 by 10 as it is. 4 by 3 will become 3 by 4, 7 by 10 will become 10 by 7, 7 by 10 will become 10 by 7, 7 by 10 will become 10 by 7, which is equals to n. Now let us do the cancellations. Here 7 cancel, here 7 cancel, here 7 8s are, here 10 cancel, 2 1s are, 2 4s are, 2 1s are, 2 2s are, 2 1s are, 2 2s are, 2 1s are, 2 5s are. So in the numerator 5 into 10. In the denominator nothing is remaining, which is equals to n. So n is equals to 50. It means 50 spherical marbles we need to drop into this cylindrical part. Then the water level rises by 5.6 centimeters. Okay, let's move to the next question. The question is, now this topic comes under changing one shape into another shape. So the question is, a metallic sphere of radius 4.2 centimeters. We have one sphere whose radius is given as 4.2 centimeter is melted. Now we are melting this sphere, so we will get some liquefied iron, and that is recast into the shape of a cylinder. This sphere we are melting, and that again we are recasting into a cylinder. Then that cylinder radius also given as 6 centimeters. Then find the height of the cylinder. Height of the cylinder we need to find out. So check this clearly here. One shape is transforming into another shape, or one object completely we are making it into another object. So in this case the volume does not change. Volume remains same. It means volume of the sphere is equals to volume of the cylinder. Volume of the sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube is equals to volume of the cylinder pi r square h. Here pi will get cancelled. Next we remains with 4 by 3 r cube is equals to r square h. 4 by 3 as it is into r cube. Sphere radius is given as 4.2. So 4.2 can be written as 42 by 10 into 42 by 10 into 42 by 10 is equals to r square. Radius of the cylinder is given as 6. So 6 into 6 into height. We want height, so bring everything to one side. 4 by 3 into 42 by 10 into 42 by 10 into 42 by 10 into 6 will become 1 by 6. 6 will become 1 by 6, which is equals to h. 6 ones are 6 sevens are 6 ones are 6 sevens are 2 fives are 10, 2 twos are 2 ones are 2 fives are. Next 2 fives are 2 21s are 3 ones are 3 sevens are. So height is equals to 7 into 7 into 7. 7 into 7 into 7 divided by 5 into 5 into 5. 5 into 5 into 5, which is equals to 7 into 7 into 7, 343 divided by 5 into 5 into 5, 125. If you do the division of this, you will get a decimal point. Then all the measurements are in centimeters, so this answer also in centimeters. Now let us move to one more question based on the same concept again. Three metallic spheres of radii 6 centimeter, 8 centimeter, 10 centimeter. We have three spheres. First sphere radius is given as 6 centimeter, and second sphere radius is given as 8 centimeter, and third sphere radius is given as 10 centimeter. Are melted together. These three spheres are melted together to form a single solid sphere. We are getting one single solid sphere. Then find the radius of that particular sphere. What is the radius? Here all the figures are having same shape, that is sphere, and all the spheres are having the radius. So that's why I am writing this first sphere radius as r1, and second one as r2, and third one as r3, and the resulting sphere as capital R. So now these three spheres are melted and formed into a bigger sphere. It means volume of these three spheres is equals to volume of this bigger sphere. So let us find that out. 4 by 3 pi first sphere, right, r1 cube, plus 4 by 3 pi for second sphere r2 cube, plus 4 by 3 pi r3 cube, which is equals to volume of the bigger sphere. 4 by 3 pi, radius is capital R, so capital R cube. In the first term, in the second term, as well as in the third term, 4 by 3 pi common, so remove that 4 by 3 pi. So 4 by 3 pi gone, so remains with r1 cube, here r2 cube, here r3 cube, which is equals to 4 by 3 pi r cube. If we observe the left side and right side, here 4 by 3, here 4 by 3 cancel, here pi cancel. So we remains with r1 cube plus r2 cube plus r3 cube is equals to capital R cube. R1 first sphere radius is 6, so 6 cube, plus r2 cube second sphere radius 8 cube, r3 third sphere radius is 10, so 10 cube, which is equals to capital R cube. 6 cube 216, 8 cube 512, 10 cube 1000, which is equals to capital R cube. So capital R cube is equals to 216 plus 512 plus 1000 is nothing but 1728. So R cube is 1728, then R value is 12. All the measurements are in centimeters, so this is also centimeter. So radius of the bigger sphere or radius of the resulting sphere is equals to 12 centimeters. Let us move to the next question. Okay, the next type of question in this mensuration is a 20-meter deep well. Whenever the word well is there in the question, it means always the cylindrical part only, until and unless they mention other shape. This cylindrical shaped well diameter is 7 meters. So diameter is 7, then radius will become 7/2. Is dug and earth got is evenly spread out to form a rectangular platform. He digged one well, and whatever the soil or mud or earth which will come from this well, he throwed it outside, which is in the shape of a rectangle. This rectangle measurements also given 22 meters length and 14 meters breadth. This height of the cylinder also given, that is 20 meters. Here depth, height, length, all the three words are same. Depth means that is underground, height means if it is upon that, length means it is just stretching or sleeping or horizontally standard, that's it. So whatever the earth or mud or soil we got from this digging the well, just he throwed it outside in the shape of a platform. Then as we keep on throwing the mud onto this, definitely the height of this will increase. Compulsory the height of this part will increase. So that height we need to find out how much height it increased. So for any rectangular figure, if we are increasing the height, that rectangular platform will become a cuboid. It means volume of the cylinder is equals to volume of the cuboid. So volume of the cylinder pi r square h is equals to volume of the cuboid, length into breadth into height. Pi value 22/7 into radius 7/2 into 7/2 into height 20 is equals to length 22 into breadth 14 into height don't know. Now we want height, so take everything to another side, that is 22/7 into 7/2 into 7/2 into 20 into this 22 will become 1/22 into 14 will become 1/14 equals to height. Here 22 will get cancelled, 7 cancel, 7 ones are 7 twos are, 2 ones are 2 tens are, 2 ones are 2 fives are. So height is equals to, in the numerator 5 divided by in the denominator 2. So 5/2 is nothing but 2.5. All the measurements are in meters. We are finding height only. So this will be also meters. So height of that platform or height of the cuboidal shape platform is 2.5 meters. Okay, by here we completed the important questions from similar triangles, tangents and secants to a circle, and mensuration. So out of the 7 chapters we completed 3 chapters. These all questions which we discussed till now, those all are important questions only. So if you are perfect in these type of questions for 40 marks in paper 2, no doubt is there that you will get 30 marks plus. But the only thing is that try to understand the question clearly, do the calculations perfectly, So definitely you will get 30 plus. So in the next video we will discuss the remaining 4 chapters. Till now, if you didn't subscribe to my channel, subscribe for more videos. Thank you.